trying to beat the sun up. Grinding hard for mine to see a meal before my sun's up. All I'm saying is I'm trying to get my funds up. Gotta stay strapped, case these niggas.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining in for another episode of Run It Back, where we highlight the area's greats from yesteryear. This segment is nothing short of a great segment, and like I always tell you guys, it's a history lesson in the making. So, the person that we have today is someone that, on her time of putting in that work on the hardwood floor, they was nothing less than spectacular. And today I got the pleasure of sitting down with Crosby's great, Waterbury's great, the legendary Miss Antanette Brown. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm good.
Yes. We here.
We here.
I can't praise you enough for, what you've done for the city when you was playing, the imprint and the impact that you made, So I'm blessed to have you here, and thank you for joining, and we're gonna chop it up.
Let's go. Let's chop it up.
All right. Now, so I just like to start, like with, pretty much everything. How did basketball start for you? Like, what was the starting point?
Just playing in the neighborhood. What a lot of people don't know is before they built the North End Rec, even before they built the Now, it used to be just vacant. But me and Neil Weir was walking to the store one day. We was like, is that a basketball court? And everything was vacant. It was like one basketball court.
Wait, so you saying this building wasn't here?
No, this didn't exist yet. The Now was empty.
Wow.
They had just built the rec projects over there. That's where we was living.
Okay.
So it was a little store around the corner on Cherry Street. And we was coming back. We was like, is that a basketball court? And Neil was like, yeah. So we went. It was locked. So we went. We was little. Not now. But so we went under the fence.
Wow.
With the basketball. And we was like, we could come here and play. And it was crazy because even now I look back, I was like, it was a vacant building with one basketball court.
One hoop?
One rim, yeah.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that. And so that's where it kind of started. And then really just started going to the Salvation Army. Okay. Because when the rec first opened, we couldn't come here. Okay. So, all the NAACP was mad because they didn't have a black top person.
So was it known as the North End Rec then, or?
Well, North End Rec was just built.
Okay.
And it was brand new, so they felt like it should have been, since it's in a black neighborhood, it should have been black leaders.
Got you.
So eventually they made it right, and so then we were able to come in. So, but I started out playing at the Salvation Army with Martin Pruitt.
Okay, Pruitt.
And then when this opened, started coming here, and then eventually met Darius.
Got you. Darius had his hands on
everybody.
A lot of the talent and the greats that came through the city.
It was a good time.
A lot of the talents had to come through this door.
That's true.
But wow, just the history lesson alone, I don't even recall this building not being here.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the rec wasn't even here?
The rec wasn't even here.
Wow.
When we first moved into the apartments, the rec didn't exist. That came maybe 2-3 years later. Yeah.
That's crazy. So would you say that you got your start playing on that one basket, or?
I'd say that's where it started.
That's where it started. Okay.
Just playing around, not even knowing I was even any good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't even really, I heard people say, you're pretty good, but you probably want to play something else because you're short.
Okay.
So, but I love basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, ended up going to Westside Middle School. Okay. Starting in the 6th grade. Didn't even know nothing about basketball.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
6th grade. Started.
All right, help me explain. Help me understand something. So you see the hoop. You start shooting on the hoop. Not even knowing if you're doing anything right. You start shooting, and then it's like you created, that love for the game found you then, you would say? Or you found a love for the game then?
Right. I didn't even, because I just loved, and I didn't even see women on basketball on TV yet.
Okay, right.
But a lot of people don't realize, like Kim Mulkey, who was the coach of LSU, was a beast when she was in college. I watched her when she was at Louisiana Tech.
Gotcha.
I was a little whippersnapper.
Wow, okay.
But a lot of people don't know, like, even me and my older brother was having a conversation, and we was talking about the WNBA. And I was like, the talent has always been here.
Always.
They just, the right people wouldn't invest or take the time to put it on ESPN.
Got you. So it's always been around.
It's always
It's
women's
just kind of like somebody putting the spotlight on it.
Women's basketball always been great.
Wow. And it's crazy how many years is the women's basketball now? What, 20 years or 25 maybe?
I want to say the first year of the WNBA, I think, was 1996.
1996. So yeah, about 20 plus years only. Wow.
Because you think about the women been winning gold medals forever. And
Participating in that.
but they would have to go overseas to make the money.
And that's still kind of like to this day.
Yeah, because they make
$200,000-$300,000
over there, or more, probably more now. Back then.
So yeah, because what the young lady Caitlin, they would just had her salary she got a 4-year salary of $333,000, and they was trying to compare like her NIL deal was worth like $3 million or something like that, or $3 or $5 million. But her WNBA salary for the next 4 years is gonna be like 30-something thousand.
But she gonna make a killing in endorsements.
Oh yeah,
that's what she gonna. But even with Michael Jordan, he made more money in endorsements than he did on his salary.
That's why he was able to kind of like sacrifice for the team, because he was getting that big check.
Making $100 million in endorsements. So, but yeah, that's where it all. And then once they built the rec, my older brother, like, he the one that taught me how to shoot. Hold the ball like this, and you got to do this, and then just practice. And that's what a lot of kids don't realize. You got to put in hours. Hours. You just don't. You don't become Steph Curry.
No.
An hour a day.
No. It's funny.
don't.
I tell some of the young kids now that sometimes that I train and whatnot, I tell them, I said, greatness is ugly. You know what I'm saying? You can be a good player, you can be a decent player, you can just make the team, and it's a lot of fun that comes with that. But to be great, you miss a lot of things because you're working on your game.
Yep.
So the reward is when you showcase on the court.
Yep.
But the preparation is
fact.
ugly.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You gotta sacrifice. You gotta, when everybody's going at the dance or going to the mall, you at the court. You're running laps, you're running cross country, you're running miles, you're getting your body prepared to be great on the court. But that preparation, everybody want to be great, but they don't want to put the work in.
They don't want to put the work in.
That work is ugly. You know what I'm saying? And I try to get these kids today to understand, like, listen, like you just said, everybody's not gonna just come out there an hour there and be Steph Curry.
Nah.
Or be, like LeBron and, some of the, John Morant. You got to put that time.
Hours.
Put that work in. Hours. Days. You know what I'm saying? You got to put that work in. So you said you went to North End? No, West Side.
I went to West Side.
Okay. 6th grade.
6th grade. And I knew then because Mr. Gilliam was a teacher, was a teacher at West Side. He was like, you going to Crosby.
Then.
And ever since then, I have wanted to go to Crosby.
Wow. Technically, you're supposed to go to Kennedy.
He already put that stamp on it.
Really?
Said, you going to Crosby. I was like, bet, I'm going to Crosby.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up at Crosby.
So now you go in 6th grade starting. Now, how was it? Were you guys like?
I was trash.
Had a lot of success?
I really didn't know, I knew how to play basketball, but I didn't know how to play basketball.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So you take a raw diamond and shine it up.
Yeah.
So my 6th grade, I probably averaged like 4 points.
Okay.
But learning more of the game, being around, like I said, Darius. And I still think at that time I still was going to the Salvation Army with Martin Pruitt.
Okay.
And just, he'll turn the lights on so we could go play. Because he ran the gym, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no time that, Martin, turn the lights on, we want to play.
Right.
He'll turn the lights on.
Got you. Now, so you got 6th grade, 7th grade. Did you see your progression?
Oh, yeah.
Going on from 6th, 7th?
Oh, yeah.
By 8th grade?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just putting the time in, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, I loved it. It wasn't work to me.
Okay.
My mom would send me to the grocery store, and I just dribble. We used to live in the projects.
Yep.
The A&P was right on.
A&P right up here.
I'm dribbling with my left hand all the way. On the way back, got the groceries in my hand, dribbling with my left hand.
Wow.
Yeah. It was always basketball.
It's funny you say that. I mean, because not to what they call it, male chauvinize. You know what I mean? But you see a lot of people telling the young boys to do stuff like that. But you're a young lady putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? That probably a lot of boys is watching you like, yo, what is she?
Right.
Following behind you.
Right.
Instead of you. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to kind of like when you look back, like wow, you got a trail of not only girls playing but boys following behind your footsteps. How did you your 8th grade year? How did you do?
I did good.
Okay.
Probably averaged about 20 something.
Hold up. So you go from 4 points
to about 12, my 12, 14, my 7th grade.
You turned it up 8th
20.
grade.
Yeah.
So 8th grade.
It was
now
just
it's clicking.
it was just
clicking.
and it's about putting that time in.
Yeah.
I had a couple games I had 30.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was just putting that time in. And it's like you said, it's just like with anything though. Everybody want to have millions, but they don't want to put the time in to lay the footwork. Everybody want to be P. Diddy tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Right.
But he laid that foundation 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Yeah.
So it's the same thing with basketball.
Now, who would you play with
The
outside
boys.
of school?
Boys.
Okay.
Boys.
Okay. And now, are they roughing you up or they taking it
Nah,
light?
they can't. I'm too quick.
Okay. Okay.
Nah, they not roughing me up.
Oh, so
For
they
real.
giving it to
Yeah.
you. They let you have it.
They trying.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I would for real, I would. My sister would be at home sleep. That's my sister right there.
Okay.
And she was good and never put no extra time in outside of practice. And she never was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go with you to shoot at the court."
No.
Never.
Never.
And I look back, I be like, man, she could have been great.
Wow.
She was good, but she could have been great because she was just naturally good.
Naturally good.
I worked on mine.
Okay.
So I would get up early in the morning and come out here and from like the corner, foul line extended, the wing, top of the key, I would have to make 25.
Okay, now.
Not shoot. No.
Still that in you right there.
I just wanted to be good. It's no one that said, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. I just wanted to be good.
Okay.
And I knew you had to put the time in to be that.
Wow, and to know that early.
Early.
You know what I mean? That's huge,
I probably was doing that. I probably was like maybe summer of my sophomore year of high school. Yeah.
Okay.
Come out here by myself, me and the birds. Okay. And this before it got crazy where your parents ain't really worried about you getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, going to the park and shoot.
7 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I would be down before that sun came up.
Wow. And then it's not like you're going down there for an hour. You're down there all day.
No, I'm down there for about 2 hours. Then I go home, take a nap, clean up, watch a little TV. Then it's time for the fellas. We coming down here, we'll shoot with Darius.
You coming back down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta
So
let
now
him
at this
sleep.
point, the wreck is here.
The wreck is here.
Okay. All right, so before we get into high school, so now when you said you're going to Crosby, was there anybody trying to persuade you to go to any other schools?
Nah.
Nah? Man.
I guess Mr. Gill already told him. Don't try it.
Don't try
She
it.
going to, I got her. That's mine.
All right, so now when you're going to high school, are you going there with any expectations
For myself?
for yourself?
Not really.
Now, obviously, you got more understanding of the game,
Right.
and you're still working on your game, but how do you fit in, like, going in your freshman year?
Well, since he
Who's
couldn't,
ahead of you at this point?
nobody, but he couldn't put me out there like that. So to begin with, I played JV, and by the middle of the season, I was starting varsity.
By the middle of the season?
Yeah.
Wow.
So at first, I was playing both JV and varsity. Like, I can remember one game I had 28 JV, 28 varsity.
Man.
So he had to start me.
Had to?
Yeah.
Wow. So never freshman?
What you mean?
Like,
What you mean?
so you never played freshman ball?
Oh, they didn't have freshman girls.
Oh, they did?
No, they just had JV and varsity.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Dang. Listen, see that? The rep wasn't here, and they didn't have freshmen.
For women.
For women.
They didn't have
playing
freshmen.
defense.
Yup, they didn't
Wow,
have
okay.
freshmen.
So you make the team, you really like making it for the kind of like the big squad.
Yeah.
More or less. Okay. Wow. So you had 28 JV, 28 for varsity.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is anybody else? If any guys have done anything like that? Because usually you have 28 on JV. You might get some burning varsity.
He might get 6 on varsity.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, he played.
It don't equate to another big game.
And wasn't tired. You know, when you a kid, you don't never get tired.
Because you running all.
You ain't never get tired. So I was ready, you know.
Wow. So now once you start, right? Or even, once you starting is, you're a freshman. Now, is everything going through you or you're pretty much facilitating?
Well, at that point, Daphne was the point guard, so I played too.
Okay.
Once I started starting, I played too.
Got you.
So they would run plays, but they would be plays for me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, which I kind of think like when we ended up playing Wilby for the city championship, I think it kind of took away from, instead of us just playing how we've been playing all year, for Coach Gilliam to come up with just plays for me, I think it took away from our team.
Okay. So it's funny you went there because that's where I was about to go right now. So in that 1981 season, Wilby was kind of like the squad back then.
Mm-hmm. They had a good team.
Yeah. So do you remember any of the players that was on that team?
Robin Grossman, she was good. She really was the face of Wilby at that time.
Got you. Okay. Because they had just that when you guys beat them, right? That was kind of like you guys were the only ones to beat them.
Right.
You know, at that point.
Yep.
So would you say that Wilby kind of back then they always kind of had like a strong?
Oh yeah, Wilby had a good team. Wilby, they had Lynette Funches. I can't remember the big girl. Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So
Wow.
yup.
Wow. So you had some battles then. I know you said you worked on your shooting with the elbows and stuff like that. Now, what was your go-to coming into high school? Was you just a two-guard, shooting guard, or did you start creating?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
A little bit because I was fast.
Okay.
So it was hard for people to check me.
Right. And with you and Daphne, was y'all like the makings of a dynamic duo?
Not really. It's funny because I see how close I wasn't really close with any players off the court.
Okay.
Like really, really close.
Okay.
I had, my boy C Love, who rest in peace, and Baron Brown. Those were the two people I really ran. Okay. Calvin Glenn.
Yep, Cal.
You know Cal.
Yep.
My girl Rhonda Vereen. Those are the people that I was around. I really wasn't around other ball players besides, my sister, Lynn Green, Terry Green, but we was cool from church.
Okay.
And so one thing I wanted to touch on, because Daphne talked about the Summer League with Groove Makers and Head Start.
Yes.
So with us, we created our own Summer League.
With the
Zion Baptist.
Oh, Zion. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so it was me, my sister. It was the Browns and the Greens for the most part.
What? How y'all do that? Like,
We all went to church together. We all grew up in the church.
Okay.
And so we had access to the queue. So we was like, we didn't want to split up. So we talked to Lynn and them parents to go to the church and say we want to put a team in, and the church sponsored us.
Wow.
And so 4 championships.
4 championships.
Wasn't no head starting group after that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. So you said you guys got a church league. Now, was it with other churches?
No. We played in the Summer League. Pearl Street.
Oh, y'all got the church squad to play in the. Come on now. What your squad
4
look
championships.
like? What your squad look like?
Championships. Championships.
So y'all didn't play. So you didn't play with none of the.
Nah. We got our own team.
Wow. Played against them and won 4 championships. That's crazy.
And won MVP at 13.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
So when did y'all start that league? I mean, not that league, but when did y'all start that team? Obviously, Pearl Street been,
What year was that?
Was that before high school? While you was in?
Yeah, I think I was a freshman. Because I couldn't play. You had to be 13 to play.
Okay.
And I was trying to sneak play at 12.
At 12.
And people went and told Hubie on me. You know what's crazy?
Hubie wasn't buzzing?
Yo, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. Let me tell you what's crazy. I was like, in the land, I was like, I would be crazy to be worrying about a 12-year-old. And I'm a senior in high school or a freshman in college.
Right.
So that was crazy. So I couldn't play that summer. Then that next summer we got our team.
The next summer, wow, 13s, and y'all ran that 4 years in a row.
4 years.
Wow. That's crazy when you think about, because now you're playing against players that's coming together as teams. You know what I mean? That's creating their. But
I think what we had on a lot of teams is they really probably, I don't know how often they practice, but we practice as ran plays and
as a team.
Right.
Okay.
Because Zion Baptist owned the Q.
Mm.
So we had access to that. So we would have practice 2-3 times a week. Until the season started, yeah.
Most of them wasn't doing that. So y'all had the leg up.
Yeah.
Wow. And again, practice makes perfect. Y'all ran the table, 4 years in a row?
4 years.
Wow. And, Pearl Street, it's kind of like a staple in Waterbury. We talk about some of the greats that played in Waterbury high school ball, but there's some people that really made their imprint in Pearl Street.
Yeah.
That's where like a lot of them started in Pearl Street. You know what I mean? So for you guys to develop your own team is like, nah, we playing together. Now the Greens, y'all played against the Greens?
No, they were on the team.
They was with y'all.
Right.
The Browns and the Greens.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's
oh man. Okay.
Browns and the Greens.
The Browns and the Greens.
And see, we were friends though. Right.
Okay.
And see, we was friends though. That's the thing. We hung out at the Greens' house.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We did a lot of stuff together.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So would you say like your squad there, you really hung with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We really enjoyed each other's company.
Got you. All right. So now, did your high school squad, your freshman year, did you guys have a lot of success as a team?
That year. My freshman year.
Well, y'all won it that year.
I won. Yeah, I was gonna say
Y'all won it that year.
I want to say, was that the year we won it? I think that's the year Wilby beat us in the championship.
Okay.
I think Wilby beat us in the championship. We had a playoff team at Kennedy.
Okay.
And it was big. It was crowded. It was like probably the most on the high school level that I ever played in front of. Not Summer League, because Summer League it'd be a lot of people, but
right.
The game at Kennedy was on the little radio back then when they used to broadcast the games.
Wow.
So it was an experience. I think they beat us by about 6-7 points.
Okay, so it still was a close game.
Yeah,
okay.
It was a good game, good experience.
Now, you end your freshman year at the end of the season. Well, midway through the season, you're starting. Now, are you faced with any expectations coming back as a sophomore?
If it was, I just played.
Just played.
Nobody said, "Well, we need you to." They just wanted me to show up,
okay.
And I'm gonna go out there and play.
Yes, for sure. Now, aside from Pearl Street, what other preparation did you do? Obviously, in the off season to get you ready for the.
No AAU. Didn't even know it.
Right.
Didn't even know anything about AAU. Ended up playing AAU probably the summer after I graduate.
After you graduated?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, really?
Didn't know anything about AAU. I don't even know how Darius found out about it. But it was a situation where they had 3 spots open, and we had to go play on a team at University of Hartford. They had divided us up into different teams, but then they had the Connecticut AAU team.
Gotcha.
So long story short, the team I was on ended up playing them in the championship. They had like a little tournament. Ended up playing them in the championship, and they beat us by about 3. But I had like 20-something.
Okay.
So ended up getting one of the spots.
Yeah.
And we ended up going to New Mexico. Once again, I couldn't start because them girls been together. But once the coach put me in, I ain't come out the game.
Come out. Okay.
Right.
Got you.
But it was some good players. I don't know if you're familiar with Ann O'Doy, which me and her are good friends. She ended up playing at Duquesne. A
Okay.
Kirsten Anderson, she ended up playing at University of Virginia. Bethany Collins played at Penn State. So they had some good players.
Okay.
They had some good
And like you
players.
said, like the women's basketball was always around. It was just,
Always.
now they got the spotlight on it, but it was always around.
I'm gonna say it to the end. Women's basketball, and I tell people at work, we get into discussion. They be like, "Oh, women's basketball now," and I'm like, "No, y'all just starting to watch it."
Gotcha.
But women's basketball has always been great.
Wow. So I'm gonna come back to that because it's someone made a statement about that. But I'm gonna come back to how women's basketball has always been around. But for you, do you, as you're coming in to your sophomore year, obviously like your freshman year, you said Daphne was pretty much running the point. Is that kind of like the same setup going in your sophomore year?
No, because she was a senior when I was a freshman.
Okay.
So, now I think Margie Allen was still there.
She was like a forward, though.
Yeah, she was a power forward.
Yeah. Then you got
Lenora Goodman, she ended up playing. Me and her would go back 1 or 2. It just didn't. However, if somebody got the rebound, whoever they gave it to,
Gotcha.
we just ran with it.
Okay. Now, as I'm looking, kind of like flashback going and looking at some of the archives, you can score a lot of points, but you also facilitate too. You know what I mean? Would you say that knack start to develop more?
Oh yeah.
As you progressed into like sophomore, junior, senior year?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
More of a playmaker
Yeah.
and stuff like that? All right. Now, what would you say one of your greatest games that you had?
Wow.
Where
Maybe.
everything just kind of like clicked.
I think the best game for me is when I had I want to say, was it Lehigh? I had 38 on them.
Ooh.
So I was like, and that's without a 3-point line.
That was going to be my next.
That's without a 3-point
The
line.
3-point
So
line came what, in what, 84?
85.
Oh,
And that was with the big ball. That wasn't with that little ball they got
Y'all
now.
playing with
The big
boy-
men's
okay.
ball,
The men's ball, wow. 38?
38. And I think that's when I was like, okay, I'm all right.
Yeah, okay.
I'm all right. Because New Haven used to come up here and kick our butt.
Okay.
So to play a team from New Haven and give them 38 and win the game.
And win the game. Wow. 38 points, believe it or not, that's a lot of scoring when you don't have a 3-point. When you don't have a 3-point, and that's a lot of twos that somebody's getting on you. So the fact that you gave it to them like that, and from New Haven, because, everybody know, like, New Haven got a history of
Coming
being
up,
that team.
thumping us. Thumping us.
So they came up here and got thumped.
Yeah.
Wow, so you would say that was kind of like your best?
I mean, I'm not going to – I had several good games. I had a couple games. I had 40, 42. So,
Well, here's the thing. You had a lot of good games.
Right. It's not one I could
look
just
at it, I'm
pinpoint.
saying, you had a lot of good games, but is there anything, maybe that one that you can say is like, wow, like the rim seemed like it was like a big bucket.
And that's what happens. Sometimes you have them games where you feel like you're throwing the ball in the lake, and then sometimes you feel like you're trying to throw it through a little keyhole. Can't hit nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, but I tell people, even on the professional level, watching NBA players, it's the same way. Sometimes it's just not your night.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Now, when you're faced in situations like that, or when you were faced in situations like that, how were you able to like channel that? Like if your shot's not falling, how do you channel that energy to still play make? Because some people they miss 3 or 4 shots in a row. That's it. They can kind of like psych themselves
They not
out.
no shooter.
Okay.
Shooters got to shoot.
Keep going.
You might want to try to go to the hoop more and not shoot threes or not shoot as far out.
Yeah. But you find ways to be creative and still get your shot going.
Right.
Now, was there anyone that you would consider that can slow you up?
Nah.
Back
Nah.
No one could slow you up.
Just
like
me, just me, just me, just
You
me.
just had an off.
Yeah, just have an
That was
off
it.
game.
That's it.
That's just being real. I just feel like nobody put in as much time as I did.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's how I felt
Yeah.
anytime I got on the court.
Now, team-wise, were there some teams that was, either you had to get over the hump or you had to really get up extra?
Wilby,
Wilby,
and
okay.
Sonia. I think Wilby and Sonia, Sonia had like the worst gym.
Okay.
So you're going to be sliding all over the
Yeah.
place. And it looked like their players never were sliding. But Sonia and Wilby always, and Holy Cross.
I was about to say,
You
how
got
was
it, y'all. Holy Cross, y'all.
Tough, too.
Them 3 teams probably.
Okay.
I used to toast my sister. She went to Kennedy.
Ooh. Ooh, what do you mean?
I just play. I used to give Kennedy buckets though.
Oh, man.
I used
So
to
y'all
give
played
Kennedy
against
buckets.
each other?
Yeah.
1 year. How was that game, if you can recall that?
Now you can't remember. I don't recall. I don't remember that game either. I know we won.
Yeah, what?
You know what I'm saying? I knew that.
Oh, man.
I don't think Kennedy ever beat us.
No?
Not while I was at Crosby.
No,
It's certain schools you wasn't going to lose to. You wasn't losing to Watertown. You wasn't losing to Sacred Heart.
oh, man.
Torrington. Yeah, you wasn't losing to them schools. I don't think we lost to Naugatuck. I think the only out-of-town school that ever beat us was Ansonia. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Wow, so out your whole 4 years of playing, you...
Never lost to Sacred Heart, never lost to Kennedy, never lost to those teams.
Wow.
Torrington, never lost to...
Wow. Okay. So I mean, it's good because you your team. Now, how many of you players played together the majority of your 4 years at Crosby?
You want me to go back? I can't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I played with Lenore like 3 years.
Okay.
We had a girl on our team named Teresa. Teresa was quick. She was a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn Myers, Kim Banks, all of them. They from the Hill, but they played.
Okay. Now, you as you start to wrap up your high school career, are there any thoughts of playing further, or the schools that you're thinking about attending? Like, what's your thought process as you're starting to wrap up?
Well, the whole reason I ended up in Georgia was I was supposed to go to Georgia.
Okay.
I didn't have the grades.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they ended up sending me to 2 junior colleges to visit, which one of them had won the national championship, and I want to say 80. They had won the net. So the women's basketball program was tough.
Okay.
So ended up going there 2 years, graduated, and being a knucklehead, I needed to go to summer school, but summer school was only 6 weeks.
Okay.
I come back home. I go back to school with 4 weeks left of summer school.
4 weeks left.
So they was like...
So you said you went back to summer school. You had about 4 weeks left?
Yeah, they was like, nah. They was like, you gotta come back in September.
Ooh.
So I had to go back in September, take 1 class. And so I graduated that December, and the University of Georgia was like, nah, we want you to come back in September.
The next September?
Yeah. So I was like, couldn't be mad. It was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, so to stay in shape, I'm practicing with the team.
Okay.
And so the coach from Georgia Southern was actually there looking at somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And after practice, my coach was like, hey, coach from Georgia Southern want to talk to you. I was like, okay. She was like, hey, we'll give you a scholarship right now.
Right now?
Just come down to visit. If you like it, we'll give you a scholarship right now.
Wow.
And so ended up going to Georgia Southern.
Okay.
Which afterwards, when I looked back, I wish I would have waited and went to University of Georgia.
Really?
Yeah, because Georgia Southern, Georgia.
Yeah,
Big
right.
difference.
Right, right.
But I'm young. I don't know. I just want to play ball.
You like, I got the opportunity to play now.
Right. I got an opportunity to play now, and the coach was like, as soon as you learn the plays, we'll start. You'll start.
Right, right.
So that's how I ended up at Georgia Southern.
So let's dispel like some of the myths. So, people say, some people think that women's basketball is just kind of like stepping on the grand stage now, but, from talking with you, you know what I mean, you're, telling me that it's pretty much always been there.
Always been good. Always been great.
Okay.
Always been great. It's just like in our conversation, it's just now people are allowing the light to be shined on women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always, you don't have championships with Louisiana Tech and Tennessee and win Olympics after Olympics without having great players.
Exactly. Right.
But now they got the funding and going to continue to get the funding because now they got the sponsors. Exactly. So eventually they're going to be paying the players more.
Yeah, yeah. I think, even with the, I think with the emergence of NIL deals is going to force professional teams like to
you
step
want
their
me
game
to,
up.
yeah, you want me to come out because I'm sure they had to have conversations with Caitlin Clark and the young lady that plays for LSU to come out because they can make way more money in college.
Yeah.
So they got to be getting something else.
Yeah.
For them to come out.
They have to, and I think too, like one of the things as I start to watch women's basketball, it's like, we want our product to stay here. Like, the ladies shouldn't have to go overseas to really, make a living.
To
like,
be able to
what I'm saying?
live.
So like, come on, like we got the sponsorships, you know what I'm saying? Pour into the women. You know what I mean?
And that's
why do they have to go to all these other countries to make a living when you're right here?
Yeah. and winning gold championships, gold medals every year.
Exactly.
But those other countries have put the money into it.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why I want to say her name is Katrina McClain. She played at Georgia. That's the reason why she never played really in the WNBA till later because she was going overseas making money. You know what I'm saying? You want to pay me $80,000, but I go overseas and make $400,000. Them numbers ain't adding up.
Exactly. Exactly. And would you only overseas for a couple months? Probably 6 months, 4 months, maybe.
6 months.
So it's they got to step the game up over here. How would you say your game had to transition on a collegiate level?
Oh man, it's faster. Everybody's good, faster, strong. You ain't just bullying.
No.
And so that's why it's like playing JV and varsity.
Okay.
Now you starting over because now you got to adjust to how everybody play.
Gotcha.
And if you good, you will adjust.
Yeah.
Just like everybody saying, like a lot of my friends that at work that never really watched women's basketball till like the last 2 years. Oh, Caitlin Clark, she gonna kill the WNBA. I was like, she gotta adjust.
She gotta adjust
to everybody.
It might take her
everybody's good.
2 years, 3 years.
Everybody's good in the WNBA. Everybody's strong.
Yeah.
So you're not just coming in and just dominating.
No, I think they some of the WNBA players received some pushback because they was letting them know like, nah, it ain't gonna be what this is.
Because they had to adjust.
They had to. Adjust.
Sue Bird didn't come in the WNBA and all, just dominating. They had great moments, but it took them years.
Yeah, it takes years.
It takes years.
Number one, your training regimen. You got to get your training regimen down, and you're learning your players, the people you play with. Especially if you're a point guard or even a shooting guard, you got to know where your spots are.
Right.
Because sometimes if you can't hit that spot on the wing when it kicks to you consistently, hey, come on, I got to get somebody else in there that can do it.
His job's on the line.
Job's on the line because now everything is money.
Everything is money.
Would you say that given your skill set and like say if the emergence of the WNBA was prominent back when you was coming out?
I'm there.
College,
I'm there.
there.
I'm there. I'm there. No question.
Now, do you recall some of the probably great players that you had to see in the collegiate level?
Well, I went to Georgia Southern, so that's one thing I wanted to go to Georgia because you're going to play the best.
All the time.
Georgia Southern, I think at the time we played Georgia Tech, they was ranked like number 4 or 5 in the nation, and we beat them.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
And then we had a young lady named Regina Days. She led the nation in field goal percentage. She shot 70% from the field goal.
70%?
Yeah. You can look it up.
Wow.
Beast. 5'10".
70%?
5'10". Everything was around the basket.
5'10".
5'10".
I thought you were about to tell me she was 6'5".
Nah, 5'10". But her vertical, like when she got off the ground,
Ooh.
nobody wasn't blocking her shot.
That's amazing.
So,
70%. I don't.
Yeah, you look it up. She led the nation 70%.
Wow. That's probably a record.
2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's probably a record that's probably still standing.
Probably.
If you think about that. You know
Probably.
Wow. That's
But
huge.
I met a lot of good ball players. When I was working at Run and Shoot in Atlanta, that was during '96. I started working there in '94. But I remember, who was it? Lisa Leslie, Dawn Staley, and Carla McGee.
Okay.
They came in and picked up two guys off the side, and they ran the court for like 2 hours.
Wow.
So it was amazing just to watch them play.
Wow.
Lisa Leslie, to see somebody that big and just smooth.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. That's incredible.
So that's what I'm saying, man. Women's basketball has always been great.
Always been there. And I mean, I guess you could say, better late than never, but to the fact
It's here.
that,
They done kicked
it's here now.
They done kicked the door down. They here. It ain't going nowhere.
Do you think, with obviously Ice Cube offering Caitlin $5 million to be in the Big Three, do you think that's a trend that might be able to?
I hate the
catch
Big
some,
Three. I hate the Big Three.
You don't like it?
Nah. Well, and it's some young ladies from the WNBA that's going to start a women's 3-on-3, but it's going to be full court. Of course, the court is going to be smaller.
Yeah.
But it's going to be full court.
And that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. I mean, half court. I mean,
I don't like that half court.
You don't like the half court?
Nah. And then the stupid rules they put in. That's not basketball.
Right.
Make it full court and just make the court smaller.
Would you still do the 3-on-3 format though?
Yeah.
Like
3-on-3 full
Okay.
court.
Okay.
3-on-3 full court. That'd be hot. So that's what a couple of WNBA players are putting together for the women.
Okay. Wow. Now, how much success did you see on the collegiate level?
We won the championship the 2 years I was at
2
Georgia
years
Southern.
ago?
Yep.
Okay, so you it's crazy because you had success at every level.
Yeah. I was
Coming in
lucky.
the gate, you was
I was lucky.
Well, luck.
And play with 4 different coaches in college.
4 different.
Because my freshman year, we did well, so the coach took another. See, that's when I learned the business end of it.
You do well, you move.
You move. So
Yes.
my freshman year, the coach left, went to Auburn at Montgomery. And then after my sophomore year, I went to Georgia Southern. The coach that recruited me went to UAB.
Ooh.
So then I got another coach. And
I
hated
that's
my
difficult too.
Yeah, I ain't like my coach my senior year.
Nah.
Don't edit that out either.
Keeping it in.
Yeah, that was my worst year playing basketball. I couldn't wait till basketball season was over.
Really?
Yeah, she took the fun out the game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? She'd rather have us run like my coach my senior year, my sophomore year at Truett McConnell.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna get in shape through drills.
Okay.
She'd rather have us run 150-yard dashes and crazy mess.
Oh man.
Like she'll make us run like 20 100-yard dashes, 20 50-yard dash. Just give us the ball and put us in a basketball situation and let us get in shape.
Right, because it's real time.
It's real time.
Your body adjusting to stop and go. That type of just running. That ain't.
So
realistic
we
in
ran.
the game.
We ran for like a month without touching the ball.
Ooh, wow. Now, how was she as a coach in terms of scheme?
She won because she had talent.
Okay.
You know, Regina Days, like I said, she led the nation. We had just had a better team than everybody else in that conference.
Okay.
We played Florida A&M was in our conference. Central Florida. I got mental block. Oh, Georgia State, Macon. So we had a good team.
I was about to say, but y'all was in there with some dogs too,
Yeah,
though. Like,
yeah. But the conference that we were in, they left the year after we graduated and went to a conference that I think it's called the Big South. So you get an automatic bid. You win that conference, you automatically go to the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
So they've been a couple times though. Georgia Southern women,
Yeah.
they've been. I want to say they've been like 3-4 times to the NCAA tournament.
Got you. Okay. Wow. So, I mean, to seek success or to have success at every level, as you're coming down to the end of your collegiate career, what's in the sights for you at this point?
You know, I was a communications major. I wanted to be a director. I wanted to be behind the scenes, telling the cameraman, camera 2, go to close up.
Okay.
I wanted to do that, but then when I moved to Atlanta and they opened up Run and Shoot, you heard of Run and Shoot?
Yeah, I heard of Run and Shoot.
So I was there. I worked there for 15 years.
Wow.
I fell in love. You got basketball 24 hours, and you got a weight room, and you got aerobics, and
What year was that?
that they opened in 93.
Here's a question.
And I started working there in 94.
Were they part of the sponsors in the Above the Rim movie? Because they had the Run and Shoot jerseys.
Not that I know of. Not that I
okay.
know of.
Wow. But you got to play, working and playing.
Work there, that was the best job ever.
Really?
Yes. Watch basketball? All day, I was a basketball head. I was young, ain't have no bills.
Right.
Not real bills. You know what I'm saying? Ain't had no car note.
Exactly.
Shoot, I was happy.
Wow. Now, some people struggle with kind of like the introduction to, I don't want to say the real world, but life after basketball. Were you still looking to play competitively?
Nah.
Okay.
Because I met a young lady named Lady Harmon. She actually went to University of Georgia. She actually played in the WNBA early on. She played for one of them teams on the West Coast. But when I met her, she was playing in Turkey.
Okay.
And she was trying to get me to go overseas with her. And I was like, what'd they make? She said, you'll start off making like $30,000. I said, I make that at the gym. I was like, you want me to go to another whole country
Right.
where I don't know nobody. Nah, I'm good.
Wow.
Yeah, so I never wanted to go overseas.
Never.
Nah.
Wow.
Never.
I'm sure it had to be tempting.
Nah.
'Cause you
Sounded good till it's time to go.
True.
It's time to get on that plane. Then you be like, wait a minute. Nah, I'm good. Nah.
Wow.
Yeah,
no regrets on.
Nah, none at all. Wow. Because like I said, when I got that job at Run and Shoot, and then how quickly I moved up to manager, and then eventually assistant general manager, shoot, I was like, and then they was talking about putting one in every NBA city. Okay. I was like, shoot, this is where I'm gonna be.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So they ended up putting one in DC, and I left and went up there.
Oh, you went to you followed with DC too? Okay.
Went to DC because they was like, Antanette, you young, you'll be over like 5 of them. So they was like, all you gotta do is travel. But then when the people that bought it from the original owner, it wasn't successful as quickly as they wanted it to be. Right. So they pulled out. Okay. But that concept is a great concept.
Yeah. Wow. And how long was that
I worked at Run and Shoot? Yeah. I worked there for 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked there for 15 years. Then I got laid off and got a job at Delta Airlines, and that's where I've been. Wow. Been at Delta for 18 years. 18 years. Wow. Best airlines, good company. Shout out to all my people on East South, F Concord. Yeah, but it's a good company to work for.
Nice, for sure. Before I get into, what would you tell some of the younger folks, I'm gonna do a little recall check. What's your recall? Wow. You ready? All right. What is 64, 42, 30, 10.
64, 32,
Mm-hmm.
10. That's the, what was it, 64, 32?
Nope, 64, 42, 30, 10.
Boy, I got bad memory. What is that?
So,
Uh-oh.
y'all played Naugatuck. Y'all won 64 to 42. You had 30 points and 10 assists.
Wow. Killed them.
Killed them.
That's what it sounds like.
How about this one? 60, 45, 13, 2, 8,
Jeez.
0,
0 turnovers.
25.
God, dog. That definitely ain't no scoring. What is that?
So, just to run some numbers to you. All right. Y'all played Holy Cross. Y'all won 60-45. At the time, y'all record was 13-2. That's when y'all won the city 8-0, and you had 25 points.
Wow. You went in your bag. My bag had a hole in it. I remember that.
And I guess at the time, Holy Cross, their leading scorer was Laura Steinfeld. You know, I guess she had 20 points, but yeah, y'all got busy. Like,
Yeah.
But you said Holy Cross was one of your tougher teams, and y'all beat them 60-45.
Yeah, we must have had a good night.
Yeah. What would you say, though, because, again, you know what I'm saying, your work ethic, and it showed on every level to just kind of like seeing a court, a half a court, to that spark that bug in you to want to not just play the game, but learn the game and, you know what I'm saying, perfect the game. You know what I'm saying? What could you, if you had to talk to a room of kids, you know what I'm saying, what would you tell them, high school, middle school, what would you tell them are some of the most important things that they need to kind of like, just kind of like move forward or reach some type of success in the sport or any sport for that matter?
Discipline. Discipline to be my top one. Hard work. And love what you do. You gotta love what you do.
Yes.
Like I can't ever say when before my senior year in college was a time that I didn't love the game.
Okay.
That I didn't want to get, but like I used to look forward to summers to be back at the North End Rec so I could get shots up.
Yeah.
So just discipline. You got to put the time in, and it's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
Like if I was in front of a bunch of parents, I'll tell my parents, put your kid in a sport where they could get a scholarship because college is expensive.
Yes. Very.
So and invest in your kid. Invest in a trainer to get either you gonna invest now or you gonna invest later. Mm-hmm. It's cheaper if you invest now.
Right.
Because if you want to go to a real school, you're paying $30,000-$40,000. So invest in your kid now. Put the right stuff in their body. Feed them, good food and stuff like that. And make them great. Because if they put the time in, they're going to get better. Okay. You ain't got to go to University of Georgia, UCLA. It's thousands of schools giving away scholarships.
Yes. And the ability to get a free education.
Free education.
It's one of those things, too, excuse me, that I try to instill in some of the younger kids, because most people think, I'd say the younger generation, most of them think making it is playing professional.
Mm-mm.
But a lot of times, and I tell them, making it is getting a free education.
Free education.
Doing what you love. You know what I'm saying? You get a free education that when you don't got to pay that student loan money back.
You already ahead.
You already ahead.
That's
the win right there.
Yep.
Now, whatever it is, you're up.
Yep, you're already ahead.
And that's key. So, I mean, that's, they need to work on their craft early.
And it can't be just an hour a day.
No.
You gotta, if it's a court, it's too many courts out here that, man, even if you out here just watching your kid, make them get out there and get some shots in.
Yeah.
Feed them the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
But you gotta get them shots in.
Definitely. If you had to name the 5 toughest players that you've seen, like on the opposite side, whether it was a center, forward, you can name 5 of the toughest ones that your teams had to face.
In Waterbury?
You can go from Waterbury. You can maybe start out in Waterbury.
Oh my goodness! In Waterbury, I
Overall.
I really can't remember names. You know what I'm saying? But I played against some. I think one of the toughest teams I played against was Clemson.
Okay.
Clemson, because the night before we played Florida, and my mom and my brother it was a Thanksgiving tournament, so they flew down to Georgia Southern.
Okay.
And against Florida, I probably had like 20 something. And then against Clemson, I probably had 12. And my brother was like, "Yeah, the night before you was leading the nation in scoring. Not tonight, though."
Oh, man.
So yeah, Clemson was good that year too.
Wow.
But they were. He was like, "Yeah, that little skinny girl was D'ing you up." My brother, he don't care. My oldest brother don't care. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause we put that fire on Florida the night before, but Clemson, boy, once they jumped out on us, we could not get that thing under 13, boy.
Oh man, so they had it on y'all.
Yeah. Clemson, I think that year Clemson probably came out the box being ranked like 5th in the nation.
Oh really?
Yeah, Clemson was
they
good.
was a dog going in.
Yeah,
Like,
yup.
All right, so if you had to name 5 players, it could be from high school, college, that you willing to suit up with and go toe to toe with anybody.
Shoot, my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, Daphne Nichols, definitely, because Daphne was a good point guard.
Okay.
College, definitely have to be young lady Regina Days that I play with.
Okay.
And another young lady I played with, Follette Blake,
Okay.
which was Follette was probably like 6'2", 6'3", awesome ball player.
Nice.
But they both probably should have been at bigger Division I schools. But I definitely them 4 right there. I go to
Shout
to
out
war
all
with.
of them,
Yep,
you know what I mean?
go to
Shout
war
out to
with.
all of them. Yeah, nice. But listen, thank you for blessing us with your presence. Thanks for coming back to Waterbury, and we hope Margaret can get that summer league going. Yeah, get that going. You know what I'm saying? So Waterbury can see more of you.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely try to put something together.
Yes. Yes. There we go.
Definitely.
Now we got evidence.
Because you do, younger kids do have to see people that they heard of.
Yes.
Like I heard about Jerry Booker, but I never seen her play.
Okay.
So I definitely understand, I used to hear a lot of good things about her.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you're familiar with Tracy Claxton.
Tracy Claxton.
She's out of New Haven.
Tracy
I want to say she was the first girl to score 2,000 in Connecticut.
Really?
2,000 points.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's always been some dogs out here.
Yeah. Wow.
Always been some dogs out here.
And you know what? I don't want to. I definitely can't overlook the fact that you getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
honor.
That's huge.
It's an honor.
That's
it's an honor.
Huge.
It's an honor.
Getting inducted to the Crosby Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? And when you think about all the greats in terms of all sports that went there, that you know what I mean, you're in that first group that's going through. That's huge. That's amazing. So
it's an honor.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't go to Crosby. I went to Caner, but
So Daryl Lovett? I mean, he was before you though, but
he's way before me.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. He was a beast.
Yes, yeah.
He was a beast.
Beat the stuff on him. It's like, man.
No 3-point line.
No 3-point
No
line.
3-point line.
Daryl is one that we got to have up here, Daryl.
Yeah, you got to have Daryl. Daryl Lovett. Rufus, Daryl Lovett. Shoot, even Calvin.
And Calvin, I've been trying to get Cuz up here for like the last 3 years.
Yeah, for real, Calvin
but
was.
I know he lives in Arizona, so it's
it's
kinda
harder.
Like touch and go. Just gotta catch him when he's in town. But yeah,
Yeah, you
trying to
definitely
get
got to get Calvin.
Calvin was a monster. You know what I'm saying? I tell people like.
Calvin was a monster. Calvin
always
was a
come around bouncing the
monster.
ball, breaking the
Calvin.
rims at the wreck.
I remember when Cal was like 12 and he wore a size 12.
Yeah.
We used to be like, you 12 and you wear a size 12? Boy, you got some big feet.
Yeah.
Cal, that's my boy. I love Cal. Love you, boy.
Yeah, definitely, Cuz. You know what I'm saying? We got to have you up here. But, you know, thank you.
No problem,
You know what I
no
mean?
problem.
It's been a blessing. And, you know, again, you know what I'm saying? You done hit us with a bunch of gems that, you know, I didn't know that I know the city didn't know. People that's, you know, my age group and under, we don't know Waterbury without this building. You know what I mean? So that in itself is like, wow, this wasn't here?
This wasn't here. It wasn't
You know what I'm
here.
saying? If you would have told me this is a daycare or something first, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But nah, this wasn't even here.
This wasn't here. This was I want to say it was not necessarily a high rise, but it was a apartment building. It was vacant because we used to live back in the day. I probably was like 4. We used to actually live on Kingsbury Street. It was houses. It was houses over here. It was houses over here. And I probably was like 5 years old.
Dang.
That's how long. Yeah, I'm not telling my age, but I was
be
old.
crazy.
Yeah, it was houses. Like people be like, it was houses. Yeah, it was houses over here.
That's crazy.
Yup. Yup.
But the last segment, you know what I'm saying, that we want, yeah. You know, for anybody that sits at this table, bless you with a
Word.
Waterbury legend jersey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, you can open it up.
Word. I probably leave this at friend house. She got all my trophies.
Oh, man.
She got a little area with all the trophies and stuff.
There you go.
So that.
That's the Waterbury legend right there, y'all. That's the Waterbury legend.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, without further ado, man, thank you.
No
for
problem.
blessing us.
No problem.
I'm Eric Lewino signing off. It's Antanette Brown, a Waterbury great, a Waterbury legend.
Thank you.